West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Well, it's 6 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Monday, June 30th, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Colorado's blue, America's red. It all meets together right here on the Jeff and Bill Show, where you're invited to be a part of the conversation by giving us a call at 303-696-1971, 303-696-1971, or texting us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Billy and I are back in the saddle. Bill, how you doing this morning?
I'm exhausted. Been a long weekend. So, yeah, but looks like you guys had fun this weekend.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better from my side of the ledger. We got to go rafting.
Yeah, share with the audience what you did.
I spent 5 summers as a river guide up in Buena Vista, Colorado, with a great company called Noah's Ark. And I bought a boat back when I was like 22. I'm now 43. Same boat. Still works. And we pump it up,
great.
Toss it in the river, and float down. And we do a very family-friendly section of the Arkansas headwaters called Browns Canyon. Put in up near Johnson Village, and then float what's called the Milk Run into Browns Canyon, and then down to Stonebridge, and then we pop out there. But those are rapids I did twice a day, all summer long for 5 summers.
Oh, that's great.
So you could probably
really
blindfold me and I could pick my way through those.
Oh, that's nice.
But fun rapids like the Widowmaker and the Seven Stairs and Zoom Flume and Raft Ripper and Sidell Suckhole. So kids have a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds like fun. That's a great Colorado day. That's fun. How's the water running up there? What's the water
It's not bad.
Like?
It's great level right now. 800 CFS. So
for people that have no idea what that means?
Yep, that means cubic feet per second.
Yeah.
And
good thing, bad thing, 800?
800 makes the rapids very munchy, which means when you hit them, you're going to bounce around a lot.
Okay. Not necessarily danger, but it's dangerous.
Because when the water gets too high, you just kind of go right through.
Yeah.
There's not a lot there. Some of the bigger holes will get bigger, but it's actually a great level. It's between now and I'd say first or second week of August. Great time to go rafting.
Oh, really? Great.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's all stored up in Twin Lakes Reservoir, so they meter it out, the water, to make sure that they have enough to go all summer long.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's great.
And you were being dad and good son, faithful son.
Taking care of my mom. She had knee surgery last week, knee replacement surgery. So my brother was here until late last week, went home, came back late last night. He'll be here for a few days until we go on vacation. But yeah, he and I are on duty for the next 3 weeks, taking care of mom. And that's 8-9 hours over the course of the day. So it's not in a row, but it's on and off and on and off. Yeah. So legitimately, I spent 0 time this weekend sitting down, watching a TV show, doing anything else. I didn't get my laundry done. I got nothing done except for taking care of mom, and I don't know what happened. Our dog seems like she's done something to her right rear leg on Friday, and it's really bad. She's having some real hard times moving.
Maybe tore an ACL?
Don't know. We're probably going to have to get her to the doctor today or tomorrow. But again, didn't have any time over the weekend. So I spent my time going back and forth from mom's house, taking care of mom, to coming home and taking care of the dog. And then going back and taking care of mom, and then going back home and taking care of the dog. And it was just a flip-flop the entire time. So it was like, yeah, take care of mom, get home, work on getting the dog up and going outside. Okay, then go back and take care of mom, then come back home and work on getting the dog fed and watered. Then and there are certain things that, because she's my dog, nobody else can lift her up and take her outside to go to the restroom. She can't navigate that right now because of her leg. No one else can touch her. You cannot. She will growl. She'll try to bite at you. No one else can. So it's not like, oh, you just let the other people take care of it. No. Not for certain things. She won't let him. She loves the family, and she'll come over and allow her to do things, but things like, no, picking her up when she's hurt, no. I'm the only person that's allowed to touch her in that case. So, yeah. I'm a little tired.
Now, I've had family members have their knee replaced.
Yeah.
Sleeping was the hardest part of that. Because rolling over hurts and all that stuff. It wakes them back up.
They've got her in a knee immobilizer, and so she can sleep on her back pretty well. And normally we do the pain pill right before bed with one there. She's doing really well. Navigation, PT comes later today. We've been doing the exercises twice per day. Been doing well. Although the biggest bonus that I've been able to, and again, everybody that has other family members that you could go over their house every once in a while and understands this. I got to clean out her fridge and her refrigerator. That was fantastic. That was needed. That was really good.
Grandma, this ketchup expired 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, there was something in there that did expire a couple of years ago. And she's like, but I'm going to eat that. I'm like, no, you're not, because you're going to the hospital if you do. I'm like, ready to throw that away. But there was other stuff. I was very proud of her on certain things in the freezer because with my father, the freezer was more like a cryogenic history channel type of thing where you go back and you can see past dinners from decades ago. But she didn't have anything that was older in the freezer than probably, barely 6 weeks. So I was super proud of her on that one. That's really good because my dad would just, we'll save this for whoever. And then it just never came back out. So she's done a really good job there. So that was really good. Only a couple of things, although this is the funny part in the place, the retirement village where she lives. When you take your food home, afterwards, you can always have the little containers. They're like little dipping sauce containers of like dressing and brown sugar or whatever goes on the food. If you're bringing it home, you can take the container home with you. She had so many of those little containers in her fridge. I could have built a small Lego city. I was just like there. And the funny part is that there were layers of things as I went further back. You could see that the things were older, but we cleaned all those out. And I understand why. I understand why she didn't want to get rid of them, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But now those are only gone. There's only one dressing container from last night's dinner that is sitting there. And that's a huge win for me. So that helps. And part of it is she just doesn't want, I don't want to take the time to do it. I don't want to. And so, yeah. And the fun part is I'm doing it and she's over on the other side of the room and she can't move. she can't get up and stop me. So I'm just like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. So, again, children, that's the perfect opportunity to go through mom and dad's pantry and fridge and everything else when they are stuck and they can't move. It's a great idea. That's what I did. Yeah, that was the one accomplishment this weekend.
So Bill and I, true to form, very different weekends.
Completely different.
I got to do everything I wanted to, raft, hang out with my family, and work on a ranch.
Yeah.
And Bill,
I had stuff for everybody else. Yeah. And my wife has got projects, too, so I'd come home and I'd help her out with some of those, too. We're trying to convert one of the small closets for one of the cats, and we're doing some other stuff. So, yeah, it literally was go work and then come home and do other stuff and come, back and forth. So
the faithful son, husband,
father, just
dog owner.
I don't know about that.
Bill Thorpe.
I don't know about that. Just exhausted.
We've got a lot to cover today after News and Comment with Blake Olson. Rory O'Neill's going to join us. We're going to give you the latest on the P. Diddy case as it heads to jury deliberations. We're also going to be joined by John Decker, White House correspondent. He's going to update us on the big, beautiful bill. We're going to talk Tom Tillis's retirement. The anti-Trump Republicans heading out to greener pastures, as they like to say. Richard Holtorf's going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. He is a candidate for Colorado GOP vice chairman. If you remember, the current chairman resigned just a few months into Britta Horne's administration of the Colorado Republican Party. What's that all about? How can Richard and Britta work together? Interested in talking with him in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll also review Supreme Court rulings that came out on Friday. So, whole lot to cover, but now it's time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Hey, good morning. Happy Monday. 59 and partly cloudy in Denver. Hope you had a great weekend. Expecting a high of 78 today. News is presented by the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Now's the time to stand with Israel. Call 800-301-1188. That's 800-301-1188. Or go to 710knus.com and click on the big red Stand with Israel banner at the top of the page. Our top story.
And at approximately 2 p.m. this afternoon, it was reported that firefighters were receiving shots fired at them. We now have 2 deaths.
The sheriff in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, on Sunday, 2 firefighters dead and another injured after a reported ambush in the Idaho community. The firefighters were responding to a call Sunday of a small brush fire that was starting to grow when they were shot by an unknown person in the woods. A possible suspect has been found dead. Authorities have not yet released his name or possible motive. A Colorado State Patrol trooper and highway workers suffering from injuries stemming from a traffic control area crash in Denver. A State Patrol spokesperson says that Trooper Miguel Geronimo and a CDOT contractor are suffering from minor injuries and have since been released from the hospital. The driver, Brian Granillo, fled the scene on US 36 and is suspected of being under the influence. Granillo is facing driving under the influence, felony, eluding, and other related charges. So a reminder, be careful in these construction areas for everyone working on the scene. DJT with huge wins last week, including with the Supreme Court, and reminding the lower court communist judges that the president is still the president.
Mr. President, tell me about the significance of the Supreme Court ruling on the nationwide injunctions. Will that help you?
It took the court system out of the presidency to a large extent. The courts were almost like being the president, and you can't have it. It was such a big decision. This is one of the biggest decisions where you would have a local federal judge who was radical left determining the policy for the whole nation. The whole nation.
And this is amazing to me. The number of words spoken by each justice in their first 8 arguments. The great Clarence Thomas, 96 words. Samuel Alito, 883 words. You go up to the most words, Amy Coney Barrett with 4,475 words. Well, hold on, wait a minute. Ketanji Brown, jack up your country, who doesn't know the difference between a man and a woman. 11,000 words spoken in her first 8 arguments, and she doesn't know what a woman is. Holy moly. Almost 3 times what the number 2 on the list speaks, and that's Amy Coney Barrett. 11,000 words from Ketanji Brown, jack up your country. On Friday, DJT says he's done dealing with Canada. They can't play fair. Forget it. Last night, Canada rescinds digital service tax to advance broader trade negotiations with DJT and the red, white, and blue. They reopened trade deal talks with 47. Wow, imagine that. 2 men are dead after weekend stabbings in Aurora, one on the 1500 block of Moline early Sunday, and a second man was found dead near a bus stop at the intersection of Peoria and East Colfax about 5 hours later. That location is about a half mile away from the scene of the first stabbing. The NTSB investigating the crash of a small plane in eastern Ohio that claimed 6 lives. Howland County Fire Chief Ray Pace says the Cessna 441 crashed in the backyard of a Howland Township home Sunday morning.
It's official. Padraig Harrington is a 2-time U.S. Senior Open champ.
Padraig Harrington wins the U.S. Senior Open at Broadmoor on Sunday, where KNUS listeners were able to enjoy the beautiful settings and the great tournament.
Brewers down to their last out here. Tying run at second. Here's Caleb Durbin.
This ball in the air to left. Playable out there for Beck, and the Rockies have won it. Tyler Kinley nails it down. The Rockies in 11 shocked the Brewers 4-3.
Drew got to call a win. Rockies beat the Brewers 4-3 once again in 11. Astros at Coors Field tomorrow night. 58 in Northglenn, 57 Highlands Ranch, 59 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue.
So you ever heard of the Jeff and Billy show?
Jeffy Billy.
Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast here in Denver this early Monday. A few passing clouds this morning. Temperatures right around 60 degrees by daybreak. Then for the rest of your Monday, partly sunny skies with a really good chance for showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, continuing through this evening. Monsoon season is upon us. Daytime highs near 85, lows down to 60. Weather sponsored by Colorado's Best Roofing, reminding you to protect your home from the harsh Colorado weather and schedule your free no-obligation roof inspection today at roofingcolorado.com. That's roofingcolorado.com. I'm meteorologist Patrice Sutter in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Rory O'Neill's going to join us here just in a second to give us an update on the jury that has gone into... Is it liberation? No, wait, it's written here as liberations. It's not deliberation.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
But juries could go into liberation. Whole different thing they're deciding.
Thank you, NBC.
And yeah, okay, side note, just for a second here. Okay, part of this entire idea of us leaning into one, AI, two, people that are barely above unpaid interns that are the ones that have to write these stories, it's atrocious. And and the reason I pay attention to it is I can't spell. I'm really, really bad at it. So I have a particular affinity to finding the misspellings inside of words. I can see them. I know they're wrong, but when I'm typing them, all the time I flip letters. Happens all the time, or I just drop a letter.
Should have put in jury libations.
Exactly. That's the thing is I go through
Have
these things.
started.
Almost. It used to be months, and then you'd see some sort of, wrong grammatical thing or some sort of wrong spelling. Now, 4 or 5 on a daily basis. All
we
the
don't
time.
care anymore.
No, we don't. And it's again, we talk about the erosion of journalism and standards. This is part of it. They're like, who cares? Yeah, this is it, guys.
Well, speaking of erosion, in this city, living with all these weak on crime DAs and judges and whatnot, the city's run rife with criminals out there. And if you're trying to run a business in the state of Colorado with all these crime issues, it's very difficult. You got to keep your inventory safe. You got to protect your business. Well, top of the line alarm system out there to protect you in the crazy state of Colorado, alarm detection systems, the highest level of service and expertise. They combine everything into one source so you can have access to your cameras, key card access, fire and intrusion systems, all in one place. ADS offers expert alarm installation and testing by highly trained technicians, 24/7 professional monitoring, same day or next day service upon request because downtime isn't an option. Dedicated teams for cameras, access control, and fire alarms, and over 300 security professionals working for you. Choosing ADS means your business stays protected and will be ready to open tomorrow. They combine human monitoring with the latest AI camera technology to prevent crime in real time. Trusted by small and large businesses, including many Colorado schools, their security experts will review your system for free. Go to adsalarm.com to schedule your appointment today. adsalarm.com, alarm detection systems, the first choice of Front Range and Colorado businesses. adsalarm.com. Before Rory joins us, Bill went out to the Elizabeth Locker on Friday.
Yes, tell us about the Elizabeth
Got to
Locker
tour
for the audience that's not familiar. What
A few weeks ago,
it's not for gym shorts.
Yeah, right.
Okay, good.
A few weeks ago, you and I were talking about how I had hosted a bunch of people over for like an open ranch, and we grilled a bunch of cheeseburgers. I went and decided to buy actual meat, not meat mixed with cardboard that you get at some of the big box stores. Went and got some actual meat, and that clip was shared with the folks at the Elizabeth Locker. So Justin over there calls the station's like, happy to have Jeff do a tour. And so I got to go do a tour of their facilities and see how the meat is made fresh. And they've got a door on one side that the cow comes in, and then you purchase the meat on the other. It's that fresh. It was so cool.
Oh, that's
Picked
awesome.
up some brisket burgers, which I had never heard of before. Brisket burgers.
Interesting.
That's what Justin recommended, along with green hatch chili sausage, which was great too.
Oh, I bet that's
thank
amazing.
you to Justin over at the Elizabeth
That's
Locker
incredible.
for hooking us up big time. All right, Rory O'Neill is joining us, NBC News National Correspondent. Jury deliberations have started in the case against Sean Diddy Combs. Rory O'Neill's going to help recap the trial and what observers think it will end up. Good morning, Rory. Thanks for joining the Jeff and Bill Show.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. So after 7 weeks, jury deliberations finally start today. There are 5 federal charges against Diddy, including racketeering, transportation over state lines for the purposes of prostitution. You've also got conspiracy in there as well. So a lot for the jury to process here as they work through the evidence they've heard over these past 7 weeks. You know, the defense didn't put on much of a case. They cross-examined and questioned the prosecution witnesses, but they did not call any witnesses of their own and relied on their closing argument that was delivered on Friday. So let's see what the jury does here. It's tough to predict what a jury will do.
Can you give us a sense of what the defense's argument was? Was it, he lives a wild lifestyle, but that doesn't make him a criminal?
Pretty much. That, it looks like this guy's a jerk and has his peccadillos, but they're not necessarily federal crimes. You know, the prosecution, on the other hand, said that this organization to bring people in, to hire prostitutes, fly them in for freak-offs in various cities, that this amounts to racketeering, and it makes it a federal crime, which is why they are pursuing a sentence that could put him in bars for the rest of his life.
That's Rory O'Neill, NBC News National Correspondent, giving us an update on the P. Diddy trial. So what do observers think is going to happen here?
Well, look, there are 2 counts of sex trafficking by force. Those are going to be tough. The racketeering one is also pretty tough. But there are 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Those might be where the jury says, all right, we'll convict on that, but clear you on the others, because it's pretty obvious that these escorts were hired from other states, flown into the locations for the various freak-offs, and paid for their time. So it could be that there's a conviction on those lesser counts. You know, keep in mind, Diddy has been in jail since his arrest and while he's on trial. So, it's possible if, again, I'm going way down the road here, if he's only convicted of those 2 charges, he might get something like time served and could be up pretty quickly.
Because it seems like on those charges, it's just kind of consenting adults doing something, yes, that's illegal, but you don't have like a human trafficking component to that. Is that right?
Exactly, because he is facing 2 counts of trafficking by force, and as I said, also that RICO charge. So, if you cross that threshold, the punishment gets a lot more serious.
That's Rory O'Neill, NBC News National Correspondent. And Rory, you've also been covering what happened to the Idaho firefighters. Can you update us on that?
Yeah, we still are all asking the same question of why. Why would a guy set a fire in a hiking trail area of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, lure firefighters there, and start shooting at them. 2 firefighters were killed. A third was injured, last listed in stable condition after surgery last night. The suspect here, the gunman, he was found largely because his cell phone was traced. They looked at cell phone signals in the area, realized that one of them hadn't moved in over an hour. That's where the police moved in, thinking maybe he was lying low or was hiding out somewhere. But instead, when they got there, they found his body, a gun nearby. But they couldn't stay there very long, and they had to sweep the area quickly because that brush fire he set was coming towards them. So hopefully now the police certainly know who this man is by now, thanks to the cell phone data. And now we're just trying to backtrack and figure out what would motivate him here. Coeur d'Alene, not a very big town. If he's a local, someone might know something about why he was angry with firefighters or what may have motivated him here.
That is Rory O'Neill, NBC News National Correspondent, talking to us about the shooting of the Idaho Fire Department workers over the weekend, drawn out into a hiking trail. Fire was set and then ambushed. I heard one of the things that was very, very difficult early on is because this was out in the wilderness, out in the open, and it's very difficult to target in that area where someone might be shooting you from. Plus, the way that the sound waves bounce around that hiking area made it very, very difficult for anybody as far as searching. One of the things I heard discussed, Rory, and I want to hear if you've heard the same thing, is the idea that northern Idaho, for over a decade or so, has been a congregation spot for individuals that have been mad at the government. Kind of the idea of the people that are connected to those type of, we are going to be sovereign citizens or militias or whatever it might be, sometimes aligned more with right-wing causes. Do we have any indication, or is there any talk in the area about this individual possibly being connected to any one of those ideas or being a member of any one of those groups that is in the area? Or could this just be somebody that just decided to go and do this? What are you hearing so far?
Well, right. It could be all those things, and that's what the investigators are up to, and that's what they're trying to track down. They were concerned that this would have been a manhunt that stretched on for days, right? I mean, they didn't know initially how many people were out there shooting. They thought it was possible several gunmen were involved in this, and then now they're confident it was just the one. But now they're going into his background to try to, and they're asking the same questions you're asking in terms of what was the motivation here. Maybe he wrote it all out. Maybe it's all there in some sort of a manifesto at his house that explains why he did all this. So maybe he was fired by the fire department. Maybe he had a rift with one firefighter in particular. Maybe it's, he's just off the reservation. So it's all kinds of possibilities. They're trying to understand more. We're likely to get a briefing later this morning and hopefully get some of those answers.
Rory O'Neill, NBC News National Correspondent. Do we know if he used we're assuming, rifle that he was shooting at the firefighters with? Do we know what he possibly used to kill himself? And the only reason I'm asking that, and I haven't heard anything yet, don't know if you have any additional information, because rifles are normally not used as self-inflicted suicide weapons simply because they're difficult. They're difficult to use based on...
long to get your arm out
It
there.
is. It's really hard to do it. So do we have any indication of another weapon he may have used to kill himself, or do we still not know yet?
Yeah, they just haven't said. I mean, they may know. They just haven't said it yet. Again, they were trying to clear the scene because the fire was approaching. Don't forget, they were also and are concerned about the brush fire that was getting near 50 acres because they couldn't fight the fire because they were worried about the sniper. So the fire was allowed to grow, and so they had to, when they found the guy's body, they had to sweep the scene quickly. Whatever weapon was there certainly was picked up for processing, and hopefully, again, I think we're going to get a lot of answers today if this is pretty obvious.
That's Rory O'Neill, NBC News National Correspondent, updating us both on P. Diddy and the shooting of the firefighters in Idaho. Rory, thank you so much for taking time to join the Jeff and Bill Show this morning.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We'll look forward to some updates later in this week. Never slow news cycle.
No, that Idaho shoot, that was kind of scary.
Crazy.
That was scary, and one, it was because the setup of bringing them out into the wilderness, because you would think it would be much easier to do it something much easier in your neighborhood around there, somewhere you felt more comfortable. And it is scary that because of the search, they couldn't start fighting the fire. So you kind of look at the idea of, is that part of the motivation? Yeah, the idea is, again, the why. What was the motivation? What was the why? We don't know anything yet. But really, really scary, especially, you have police officers that understand that danger when they run into a situation, but that's not what firefighters are thinking of.
This was an ambush. It was an all-out ambush, and these poor guys, I don't know if they're husbands, fathers. I can imagine that they are, but they're running towards a problem.
Yeah.
That's what I always think about first responders, police, firefighters, paramedics, military. They're the ones that run into the problem. And in this case, the problem was falsified, and then they were shot at. 2 of them killed, a third severely injured. My goodness. And did you hear the audio?
No,
we can pull it up later, the 911 audio.
Oh, no, I didn't.
It's another firefighter.
Oh, geez.
It's hard. It's very hard to listen to.
I bet.
So we'll continue to track all of this. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to talk with John Decker on the big, beautiful bill and where that's making its way through the U.S. Senate. Tom Tillis, senator from North Carolina, announcing he's done after all this. These kind of these Republicans that aren't willing to get on the Trump train, one by one, seem to be heading out. So we'll be talking about that in the 7 o'clock hour. Richard Holtorf is going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour, and then we'll talk also the Supreme Court rulings. And all of this, please join the conversation. Give us a call, 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Speaking of Danny C., love this guy. Known him for well over a decade. He's with us right there on all the values. Pro-life, pro-family, pro-faith, pro-America. He gets it, and he has spent the last 40 years of his life getting justice for the people of Colorado. Injured in serious motor vehicle crashes. Listen to these courtroom statistics. Dan is believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado state history. Dan Caplis Law is so trusted, they're the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Dan Caplis Law, a serious firm for serious cases. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. So if you need Dan's help, give him a call. Here's the phone number, 303-770-5551. 303-770-5551, or hit dancaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S law.com. We'll continue with your phone calls and texts. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Well, Bill, I hate to give you some bad news to kick off this Monday,
but
Monday.
Unexpected. What's up?
Colorado panel signs off on the stupid, ugly pedestrian bridge.
Oh, I saw that dumbassery. Christ. The hell for?
Do you see that they don't even know who's going to pay to maintain it? So the $28 million we've run into is just to build it.
That's wonderful.
By the way, this money came from like COVID relief package money.
What? Oh, why? Damn it. I'm sorry. This just frustrates me. One, the fact that if it came from the COVID relief money, why they just wouldn't give it back afterwards.
I know.
Again,
that's because no one in government ever returns money.
Well, they're disincentivized to it because
Correct.
if you return the money or you are more efficient in your budget, they don't give you as much money next year. They assume, oh, well, you don't need it. That's not it. They don't value savings. There's no value for the savings. This is just stupid. Although, okay, shout out to our friends over at Channel 9 because Kyle Clark, I managed to on Friday run through the video that he had because we talked a little bit about Kyle Clark and a little bit about the guy over at KOA, and so I went back as I said I was going to before I started the adventure with my mom this weekend. Watched Kyle's videos, two of them. First one was just on the issue that we had with our friend, and then we turned around and he had the bridge one popped up. I'm like, oh, he went off for a few minutes on the bridge thing, talking to me just stupid. I was like,
somebody was like, did you write the script for Kyle's?
I was surprised.
Like,
he went hard at the beginning.
Jeff would say.
Yeah, I was like, dude. I'm like, shout out to his how good that was, and also, Marty Lentz didn't really push back and didn't do the things there. I mean, he did say push back once in his interview, but we did listen. So, but the other one,
do your homework, Bill.
Oh, I had a few minutes. That was the one time, and so the one free moment that I had over the last
Kyle and Marty.
Yeah, exactly. But again, shout out to Kyle going hard on that bridge, saying it's a waste of time, and he did even refer to it as the governor wanting a legacy. I was like, my man. Fist bump on that one. Nice job, because that's really what this is. This is just the Polis birthday bridge. That's all it is. It's just birthday.
Did you see the pictures
Colorado.
of him at Pride?
No, I didn't. I saw he had a post on social media, but I didn't click on it.
Gives a new meaning to the phrase "frumpy and fabulous."
Well, the thing is that I have a very high tolerance for public embarrassment. So the idea that someone else goes out there wearing something silly, I'm all in. I just wish I had a matching costume. I mean, I will tell you that even this morning, running across my social media feed, there was a thing where you could buy whole tracksuits that look like Power Ranger suits. And I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, that would my attention. Yeah, that would be hilarious in public. So, yeah.
So the funding for this bridge comes from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, which is a $1.9 trillion economic stimulus bill passed in response to COVID-19 pandemic.
No. And then this is the part here where I say then we wonder why we have deficit spending. Because 100%. This is the example. This is a great example of, this is just extra money we have to burn through. No, if you returned it, maybe we don't have the deficit spending, or maybe that money all across the country, that little bit, again, not going to be a huge amount of money total, but it would help pay for the stuff that we have in current budgets. That's the idea that, if you and your family look at doing some sort of remodeling project and for whatever reason you come in under budget, that almost never happens, but you are so good that you overestimated or you decided to cut thing out, you don't look and go, wow, here's this extra money here, let's go out and get tattoos. No, that goes to other areas of the budget. Now, if you're lucky enough that all the rest of the budget is covered and you can't afford the tattoos, great. That's your tattoo money. That's fantastic. Last time I checked, we are in a budget crunch both in the state and nationally. We don't have tattoo money. There's no money for us to go out and get the extra tattoos.
No tattoo
That's what I'm mad
money.
about. Yeah.
All right. So what happened late last week was a major step in approving the pedestrian walkway linking the state capitol to Lincoln Park won an 8-4 vote from the General Assembly's Capitol Building Advisory Committee. So this is made up of lawmakers who work at the state capitol and sit on an advisory committee to adjust anything that may take place.
Okay.
Any adjustments at the state capitol.
If they, since they voted for this, all the ones that voted yes, I believe that we, by just state law, we should mandate they have to park over at the Denver Mint building and use the bridge daily. That's it. No more parking at the Capitol. If you like this bridge, use the damn bridge. Yes. And we should have some sort of toll or counting or something because, we're revoking your Capitol parking pass. You go park somewhere else. Maybe you park out in front of the city and county building. Denver Mint's got some place over there. Park there and walk. You think the bridge is a good idea? Use the damn bridge. If you're not going to use the bridge, shut up. Don't vote for it. Stop it. Stop. This is ridiculous. We don't need the Polis birthday bridge. It's ridiculous. How come? Okay,
8-4, Bill. 8-4.
How come universally everybody outside of someone directly involved in government thinks this bridge is a dumb idea, and all the people in government go, great idea, and somehow the two aren't connecting? The people that are there to represent us don't seem to be listening well to us.
Another thing they pointed out is that when it's wet, snowy, or icy, the incline will provide a hazard to pedestrians who may slip and fall. So now we have to
TikTok
put
videos.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Now we have to put de-icer on it, and that de-icer is going to drip down onto oncoming traffic.
It depends on what you're using. It'll eat the concrete.
Yeah.
That's what it'll do, because it depends on what we're going to use. And so that's a real issue there. So it'll probably start eating away the bridge and some more maintenance issues.
During the hearing, she asks, who's going to shovel the snow off the bridge?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question.
And crickets.
So they don't know. Great. That's fantastic. It's going to be an intern at this point now. Yeah, congratulations. You're a Colorado Capitol intern. Here's your snow shovel. Good luck. Hope you show up to work at 4. I guess all of us need this bridge that no one's using. That is a good argument. Who's going to shovel the snow? And the fact the incline is going to be icy and slippery.
So it still has to be approved by the General Assembly's Capital Development Committee,
who may or may not be listening to the voters.
Denver Landmark Preservation Commission, the Denver's Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, along with 2 more permits, and the Denver City Council. It also needs a joint resolution from the General Assembly, which won't happen until at least January. So this may be one of those places where the Democrats' inability to build anything because they've put so much regulation on stuff may actually end up being a good thing.
Yeah, that may help here. That's still, and I haven't found a single person that is outside of government that can tell me this is a good idea. I would love to hear from that person.
There is one group that appreciates it.
Really? What group is that?
It is the Colorado Cross Disability Coalition.
Oh, okay. I can see that based on the idea of the disabilities, but what I'm curious about is, did they have a vote in designing it? That's all I'm asking, because if it is something that is valuable and necessary and can be a real form of something that can help out the disabled community, good. Then how about we let them design the bridge? Stop making it look like a meandering river. Stop talking about what art we're going to put on the sides of it. Stop it. If this is about disabilities, let's ask the disabled community, let them design the bridge, then let's vote on it. That's it. I'm not looking for community improvements. I'm not looking to celebrate Colorado. I'm not looking to help out tourists. Disabled to help them get across the bridge? Great. All on board. Give me what bridge they want, and I'll vote for that thing. I'm not voting for the birthday bridge, because I guarantee you they're not designing the birthday bridge. That's the issue.
Let's talk Mountain High Appliance. They're celebrating Independence Day, which is this Friday, I think, right? Yes, this Friday, Independence Day, with exclusive savings from GE Profile, where you can save up to $4,000 on select kitchen packages. Enjoy Mountain High's price match guarantee and special financing options. Summer is the perfect time to take advantage of these limited time offers and upgrade your kitchen or start that remodel. When you think appliances, think locally owned. Mountain High Appliance. We'll continue. We got You Choose the News coming up. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Well, it's Monday morning. I know you're drinking the coffee trying to get the week started, but the best for you is You Choose the News, brought to you by Bill Thorpe.
Yes, it is that time of the morning where we get to make questionable decisions. Why would we do this? Why would we play America's favorite fake radio news game show at this time of the morning? Because those in charge have no idea we are doing this. Yes, the people responsible for KNUS don't wake up until 7. Once Jeff and I found out about that, just like when we were younger, being left unsupervised means, oh boy, do we get to do lots of fun things. That's why we play this fake radio news game show with you. It's America's favorite fake radio news game show. You choose the news. You know how it works. I scour interwebs for mere moments, find dumb stories, give them even more ridiculous headlines so that we can just goof off a little bit here. That's how this works. And of course, as always, Blake Olson is joining us from the news department. And remember, this is a big, giant secret, so shh, don't tell anybody. Alrighty, gentlemen, here are your stories this morning. Headline number 1, the bait worked. Headline number 2, math is hard. Headline number 3, digging through the trash is no way to... Oh, never mind. And headline number 4, but Mom... Mr. Hunt, your choice, sir.
But Mom...
Well, there are a lot of complaints about Gen Z workers now hitting the workspace because sometimes they're looking for their bosses to be more of their parents. They're wanting to be promoted after only a few months. They treat the office like their bedroom, show up sometimes in sweats or even skimpy outfits, FaceTiming friends from their desks, and even ghosting their managers, not returning phone calls or texts. What are we talking about? Gen Z having a difficult time transitioning into the corporate world. In December of 2024, a survey of 1,000 employers by Intelligent.com found just about 13% of Gen Z candidates had brought a parent to a job interview. Gen Zers are seeing things differently. According to a brand new survey, millennials and Gen Z managers millennials and Gen Zers say their managers don't understand work-life balance. They say there's no cap on my behavior. My manager will text me or Slack me at 10 p.m. at night, says a 23-year-old engineer who lives in California. That's not okay. I am not on the clock. You pay me for 8 hours a day. I'm not working 12. The generational divide has become starker in the past few months as return to office policies have brought Gen Zers into the office for the first time, many times after years of either not working or attending high school, sometimes remotely. In the Bay Area, the culture clash has led to employers having a brand new solution. They're hiring an etiquette expert to train their young employees. Yes, Rosalinda Randell has said that her inquiries have risen 50% over the last 2 months alone, and she's now got more clients than she knows what to do with. She charges clients up to $2,500 for a 90-minute workshop where she takes Gen Zers aside and says, brush your teeth, comb your hair, and dress right, just like Mom used to do. Yes, so that's it. I know. We could do that.
They really bring their parents to interviews?
Yes, but again, only about 13% of the time. But yes, some of them have brought their parents to interviews. I know. That's the thing. Bringing parents in.
Shouldn't that be near 0?
Yes, it should. It should. But alrighty, Blake, your choice, sir. The bait worked. Math is hard, or digging through the trash is no way. Oh, never mind. What's your choice?
Math is hard.
Math is really, really hard. That's what thousands of Norwegians just found out recently. They were told that they had won over $100,000 in the country's Euro jackpot draw, only to have it be yanked away a few moments later. Several thousand customers were recently notified when an incorrectly high prize was pushed out to people that had bought lottery tickets. The company receives the prize amounts from Germany in euros. They're converted to Norwegian kroners, and that's where everything went awry. Math is really, really hard. During the conversion, a manual error done by the peoples and the humans made in the code that was entered into the computer multiplied the amount by 100 instead of being divided by 100. So people were notified they won over $100,000 when really they had won less than $20. The inflated sums were all displayed on the company's website. Several Norwegians said they began celebrating before the mistake was discovered and they received a second text message. One couple said they thought they had won enough to start doing their home renovation. They were already talking about what color to paint things when the note came in that they hadn't. They said, well, it was a very fun couple of minutes, but what are you going to do? At least they weren't upset about it.
Jeez.
I know.
I have Norwegian blood, so I can say this.
Yeah.
Crazy Norwegians.
Crazy Norwegians, I know. But imagine that, the idea of, hey, you've won over $100,000. Psych. No, you haven't. Yeah. Sorry, we do math bad. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, final choice this
We
morning,
do.
Mr. Hunt. The bait worked, or digging through the trash is no way to... Oh, never mind.
Digging through the trash, please.
Yeah, digging through the trash is no way to survive. Oh, never mind on this one. Here we find ourselves in Kentucky, and we're meeting Pamela Howard Thornton of Shepherdsville. She recently decided to play those scratch-off tickets. She went in there and bought a whole bunch of tickets. Now, the Flamingo Bingo ticket in Kentucky netted her nearly $200. She said, that's interesting. She loved that idea, and then she had a dream. She had a dream that she won big. So she kept having this nagging thing, you got $200. Let's go back. Buy more tickets. You can get more tickets. Get more tickets. She decided, okay. She went back to the store, took her earlier winnings, and bought 4 more Flamingo Bingo tickets. That is a top prize of $80,000. Those 4 tickets laid on the counter all day long. She forgot about them. About 11:30 at night, she decided to play them. They weren't winners. She threw them in the trash, but realized the next morning she only scratched off 3. Wait, where's the 4th? The 4th ticket she actually threw in the trash as well. Scratching it off, it's a winner! She won nearly $60,000 from a lottery ticket she'd originally tossed into the trash and found it the next morning. Yes.
Awesome.
Isn't that cool? I know.
Very
Sometimes
cool.
dreams do come true. Just
Love
like,
it.
unfortunately, it's a nightmare. That's the end of You Choose the News. But that's all we got. All righty. Back to you, Mr. Hunt.
All right, 7 o'clock hour. We're going to be joined by John Decker. We're going to talk the big, beautiful bill. Plus, Tom Tillis, Senator from North Carolina. He's heading out after this term. What's behind it? We got it all. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader. We are News Talk 710 KNUS.